What's going on, everybody? How's everybody doing today? Give me a second. Oh, got her in the eye. So this isn't a rant video. This is another idea video. I was watching a show on YouTube, and it was like top 10 pictures need explaining in space. To let you know how my brain works, right? So from that, is there aliens? Is it fucking bacteria? Is there monoliths on Mars? From that I got this idea, okay? It has nothing to do with aliens. It has nothing to do with fucking voodoo gods or anything like that. But it was weird because that's exactly what the show was about, right? It was about fucking aliens. But anyways, here's my idea. Oop. Oh, that just fell out. Here's my idea. It looks scrambled. I just started, right? So, I'm still working on it. But, yeah, it's kind of all over the place. But it's, yeah. Let me explain what it is. Here, let me give you a close-up shot of what it's going to look like. Nope, that's, hold on, I got it. Oh, right there at the top. You see that? Anyways, so I had this idea about Mars because they keep saying, oh, it was alive before, it wasn't alive, it was alive, and no, it wasn't alive, and let's settle the debate, right? So this is very simple, very cheap. Most of it'll cost is fuel to send the fucking rocket there. Now, here I demonstrated that the rocket will start in the southern hemisphere of Mars. Okay, so that's Mars. That's the scar of Mars. That's the three volcanoes with the big massive volcanoes, the largest one in our solar system that we know of. Okay, so it's going to start down here and it's going to make its way going up, but it's going to start at one point of the southern hemisphere and end at the northern part of the hemisphere. Okay, so it's going to stretch across the planet. What this is going to allow it to do is to cross the big scar that's going across Mars, and it's going to bring it in the vicinity of the volcanoes, which is where I think is a very good point. Now, I'll explain that in a minute why I think those are good key points. So it's going to have a magnesium alloy. It's like fucking makes titanium alloy look like fucking chump play, okay? It looks like you're going to start making that shit with kids' toys. Because we got this new stuff. It's super light, super easy. So what I'm thinking is the propeller, we won't have motorized. It won't need a solar panel. It won't need nothing. We're going to use wind power. So simply, because there is a little bit of wind on Mars. There's actually quite a bit of wind on Mars. So these little spider bots, right? So let's say it's a little ball. I wish I had a little ball or something here. Oh, actually, here we go. So what they're going to do, okay, basically is they're going to get dropped out of the satellite and into the atmosphere. These little fucking balls, not this part won't even be attached to it, but this little ball, let's say that's the spider box, that's going to be the shape of it and the size. It's going to be tiny like this, okay, and in comparison, you know, it's not very big, so it's going to be cheap. So this little ball, we're going to drop 1,000 at each location. So it'll be 4,000 in total of these little balls. 1,000 is going to get dropped in a little probe like this. And it's going to go through the atmosphere to survive the atmosphere. And what little atmosphere it has. And once it gets into the range where, okay, it's not going to burn up and shit, it's going to release these little balls. Each little probe is going to have 1,000 of them. And they're going to release these little balls. Of course, the big probe is going to be a little bit bigger, but we're going to release these little balls, and they're going to drop down. Now, on the top of these little balls are going to be these magnesium little alloy, right? So the second the wind, or it starts feeling the current of falling, the propeller is going to kick on. You know, with the idea of where I'm getting this is, think of the wings, like those little brown things that fall from trees and spin on their way down. Right? So it's spinning and it lands. But if the wind picks up strong enough, the little sucker will pick right back up until it lands again. I'm using the same concept. So magnesium alloy wings will be a little bit bigger than the ball itself. But each ball, as it goes to land, like it's coming down to the surface, it's going to have a sensor letting it know it's coming near the surface, and it's going to sprout these 4 little claw-like metal death claws. Okay, and it's going to go ba-ding, and it's going to land. Now, while it's landed, on the top of this is going to be, here's a design right here for the parts. So here's the wings on the bottom, sorry. Here's the little claws folded up underneath, but then when it's ready to land, it releases the claws. So it can land upright. And it's leaving the wings facing upwards. So that way, and of course they'll be designed so that way the wing can pick up off of that. So that's what it's going to be basically. So we're going to drop about 1,000 of these, going all along. They're going to drop all along the land of Mars. And then with the little claws, they're going to land. But then, go on to this page. Here's a little demonstration up close. Let's see if I can get it to zoom in there. Anyways, what it shows here is it's on the ground. The wind picks up. It lifts off the ground. The wind carries it, lifts it higher up in the air. The wind dies off. Okay, now the wind's gone because the wind doesn't last forever on Mars. Once that happens and it's no longer able to sustain the wings will then act like one of those brown little fucking leaf things falling from the trees. And it's going to bring the shuttle or the little ball back down to the planet's surface where it will re-claw back down. It'll fucking click on the camera. It'll have another zoom around. Camera will be 360 degree turns. You can do it on a gear. Just have gears run so that way it runs the circuit board from the solar panel, and then the gears will turn, and then turning the camera 360 degrees. That goes right back to the mother satellite. Remember, there's still the mother satellite traveling across the planet. So any video feed or anything like that goes back to the mother ship. So, and then she goes to the next spot, does the same thing, next spot does the same thing, next spot does the same thing. There's 4 spots. We're going to drop 1,000 at each spot. So when they land, at first, it'll be at key locations like I was saying before. Now, for that, I use Earth as an example. You want to find the earliest forms of life? You go to the Mariana Trench, deepest part of our planet. Well, the scar of Mars is the deepest part of the planet that we know of. So let's send a fleet there. Maybe there's insects down there. Maybe there's stuff moving around. We don't even know because we haven't gotten eyes on it. Well, this will allow us to have eyes on it. And that always has a big draft, so it's going to be able to pick them up and do the rest of the mission, which I'll get into in a minute. The volcanoes, obvious reasons, even here on Earth, are volcanoes. We have little bacteria that survives off the volcanoes. They live in lava. So it would only make sense. And if there's any volcanic activity, we will be able to sense it and pick it up on the camera by the camera shaking or not. If there's a little, say a little rumble of the ground, well, we're going to feel it. We're going to see it with our own eyes. We're going to be able to look at the camera, look at the surrounding areas, and see everything start to shake. Well, that's going to signal to the scientists, oh, there's still volcanic action on the planet of Mars, which means the core isn't completely fucked like they think. So anyways, this northern and southern hemispheres, or the north and south poles, obvious reasons, right? Because, I mean, all life originates from these 2 areas. It's where all the water is. If there's life, if we're going to be able to find life, it's going to be at one of these 2 locations or near there. Maybe not exactly at that location, but the next time the wind picks up and carries them to the next zones, that's when we'll be able to get a good look. And hey, maybe it will be right on that borderline, like, you know, how between the Earth and the sun, how we're right on that perfect line. Maybe there's a perfect line that we just don't know about as human beings yet, where we haven't thought about between north and where life, or, you know what I mean, where it's survivable on a planet. So let's look at that light. Let's look at that line. Let's use the center of those north and south poles as our suns, and then go out from there and try to see where the most plausible place would be for life to actually sustain itself. So that's why these little camera balls are the spider bots, is what I call them, the flying spider bots. Because they look like spiders, but they can fucking fly. So we have flying spiders here. So why not use that same terminology, flying spider bots? And they'll fly all. Now, once these key locations are done, once we got, because the wind's going to carry them throughout all that land. Once they're done, the wind's not going to stop. It's going to continue pushing those cameras all over the planet. It's going to continue. Now they're going to start scattering. Now they're going to, and they went from one solid area to now they're starting to scatter thanks to the wind. Now we have the whole planet covered, different areas. Well, not the whole planet, but you get my drift. We got big portions of the area covered. We'll be able to, right here on Earth, be able to tap in, thanks to the mother satellite that's still up there acting as a fucking receiver from the cameras and a receiver from us and like a transmitter, basically. Is what it's going to act like. It's going to stay in the orbit of Mars for years and years until it finally we can't do it no more and it sucks it in. This will allow us to get eyes on the camera. Not only for the scientists, but people like everyday people like me and you can sign on to NASA. Pay a 99-cent fee for fucking getting live feed. Be able to click on any one of those cameras we want and be able to look out that camera anytime we want. We can actually start utilizing this, making money for NASA, making money for the European Space Agency, Russian Space Agency, the Chinese Space Agency. We can, I mean, it's a great idea. Why not utilize it, right? Cover the planet with spider bots, flying spider bots. And you do it in a way where you don't have to maintain them, you don't have to, nothing. So you just, okay, we keep the cameras rolling. Well, whenever the propellers kick on and take it off into the air and to the next location, just the wind current alone is going to clean off the solar panels. And the wings don't work from the solar panels. They just turn. There's nothing, no mechanism, nothing. They're just there and they just turn the second there's strong enough wind and picks it up and takes off. So we don't have to rely on any type of power to keep these things fucking moving. And as long as they're moving, the wind's hitting it. That means the fucking dust and everything's getting blown off. So the camera will stay lit at the next location. It will be able to spark on. We'll be able to get actual video feed. And we can probably throw in some audio if we really want to get cocky about it. Why not? Be able to hear the different sounds of the different areas of the planet. That'd be pretty cool. So that's my idea. Don't ask me how I just got that from Aliens. It's what I'm watching now. But it's the type of shit I think of all the time. It pops in my head nonstop. It's like my planetary satellite dish. Yeah, I got one of those ideas too. Using the planets to create one large satellite dish, which will in itself create one giant fucking receiver, right? Anyways, that's another time, another tale. I got another book. I gotta get it out. Again, I got so much shit written on it and in it, and that's how I write, right? It's all scrambled and jumbled. I don't know. People say it doesn't make any sense when they look at it, but to me, it just makes one big picture, right? It doesn't make. It doesn't seem scrambled to me. I don't know. But that's basically it. And the mission objective of the whole thing is just basically to create one big giant time lapse of the planet. So that way our top scientists or top everyone can get involved, view the footage, and then we can actually make a real fucking determination on where the planet is in its cycle. But we have to get eyes on the ground. Now I know what a lot of you are going to say, but Cole, there's Curiosity, there's like 4 or 5 different fucking rovers on the planet. Opportunity. What do you mean? We got eyes all over the planet, already on the planet. I mean, but yeah, but those eyes are very fucking slow. I mean, we're talking. Okay, say it started here. If this was, let's say this is the spider bot, right? And it moved as slow as Curiosity and Opportunity and the rest of them, it'd be like this. You know how long it takes to just get a fucking photograph of a certain particular area, or even a drill? How painstakingly long it takes for these rovers to get from one point to another? My option is way cheaper than any of their fucking rovers. And mine, sure, can't take fucking samples. That's what the rovers are for. That's what their jobs are made to be. But for eyes and ears, to get around the planet fast, I'm sure we're not going to get exactly where we want them. We'll have to wait until one of them gets blown into that direction and into that area. But it'll be cost sufficient. You won't need to build or make some big massive fucking machine and big massive rocket to carry it and massive amounts of fuel to push it up into space and to get it to Mars and to the moon and then slingshot around. Well, actually, I think we slingshot around the Earth first, then the moon, and then Mars, right? I don't know how that works. I have to look into it. But let's just say it's slingshot around the moon to Mars. I mean, that's a lot of fucking do-re-mi. And at the same time, it's a lot of man hours, it's a lot of manpower, it's a lot of fucking time in the labs and the fucking table drawing out blueprints. It's a big waste of fucking money and time. Unless that's exactly what you want, is samples. Okay, 100% that's not a waste of time. But you've already sent how many rovers? Now it's time we send something more practical. Something more sufficient, something more faster, something that we can rely on, something we can all attach to. So the Flying Spider Bot is the perfect way to go because they're lightweight, they sustain themselves, and at the same time, like I said, the propellers, we don't have to worry about fucking power. They just turn on their own. And the second the wind picks up and is strong enough to lift it, it'll lift and go to the next spot or wherever the wind takes it. And that's what we should be focused on. Trying to cover as much of the planet as possible, as fast as possible, trying to observe as much of the areas as much as we can. Because we've already done the long waiting process that you wanted to do for samples. Now we want eyes on the ground. We want ears on the ground. We want sufficient proof, not evidence. We want real data, not hypothesis. That's what we want because this is a planet that could sustain life. It is in the habitable zone. My theory in my other video is that it's just because it's so far away and because of a different variety of different things like magnetic field, gravity, all that. I think Mars will take longer to be born, especially considering where the timeline is in the habitable zone, which is where they are. It's going to take a lot longer. But I do think it is a possibility in the future. So we need to start planning. We need to start getting the proper data. Well, if you don't know and you can't tell me right now that there's volcanic activity on Mars, well, I'm telling you a way right now to find that out. And you don't even have to fucking send anything there to test it. Just let a camera land there. The amount of time it stays there, you're going to find out if there's activity or not just by the vibration of the camera. Now, what if the camera vibrates and stops? Vibrates and then stops, Cole. What does that mean? Well, that means there's activity. If it constantly vibrates, what does that mean, Cole? Well, that means it's constantly fucking active. That means there's something about to happen. Maybe not in our lifetime, but it's going to fucking happen. And in a planetary lifetime, our lifetime, don't fucking matter, okay? We're not even existent. All right, we're not even in existence in the same scale as the planetary's lifespan. So we're not even a blink of the eye. So there are 1,000 years from now. Whoa, that's a long time, Cole. That's literally a second for the planet. Literally. Not even a second. It's like a 1.2 second, 1.3 seconds. 1,000 years is a mere seconds to the planet. So let's look at in the sense that we need to prepare now for what's to come later. Right? It's always best to prepare. Well, this is the best way to move forward from here. Without spending so much money, without having to put in so much effort into it. These little balls are so easy to make. 1/2 you keep like one half here, you keep like from where my finger is covering, okay, you keep it for solar panel all over the top. Okay, so the whole top will be one big solar panel. You have a slit where the camera can do a 360-degree turn on that gear, right? And then it can do a 360-degree turn back. And then you have the other bottom slit, which keeps the camera protected from the ground, and the little claws will be underneath here, so it just bling, comes out and lands, right? And then we just got the propeller out here, and we just wait for just the fucking enough wind, it starts turning, more powerful wind, oh, gone. All of a sudden, it's flying across Mars. Then all of a sudden, the wind dies, and it begins its descent. And it goes all the way down, and poof, the claws, ding, come out again, and it lands. And it just sits on the planet. And then the camera kicks back on because the solar panel is now clean. Then all of a sudden, the camera takes its video feed and all its pictures and its audio, which audio we could put right at the very bottom, just between, where the claws come out. We can keep it right in the center, so the points of the claws go right on it, but then all of a sudden, ding, and we can listen to the sound of the ground. That'll help out scientists as well. If there's any rumbling, if there's any movement, any shift, the crust, anything like that, they'll be able to determine it through high-pitched sounds and frequencies and stuff like that. So this could actually be quite beneficial, cheap, and it can get us all the information we need. So if there's anybody out there who knows anyone from NASA or anyone from the European Space Agency or anything like that, throw them the idea. Just be like, what about a spider box? Little gizmos that we could drop 1,000 at a shot, right? And then just have them land at key points. They'll start there. Then once the wind picks up, it'll drag it throughout those areas. And then once the wind picks up again, it'll drag it beyond those areas. So now we got those areas covered, those key areas, but now we're about to discover other areas we've never even seen, never even visited, never even fucking laid eyes on before. Now we're going to be able to see those hidden areas because these flying spiders are going to be going all over the planet wherever the wind carries them after the key points. And as long as that mother satellite stays up in space, we'll constantly have a reception between us and the cameras. That's my idea. Don't ask me how I come up with this shit. I'm sitting here and just start popping in my head. I'm watching TV and I'm writing down this. And, another idea. Another idea to put onto it. We did this. How about if we did that? What type of metal should we use? We should use this type of metal. Magnesium. I just kept going, and now, I'm still not even done yet, because now I just had another idea pop in my head. So, I'll work on it some more. But that's my idea. It's the Flying Spider Bot. It's our GPS roadmap of the future of Mars. It's our Google Earth of Mars. But without the car riding around with a guy in it with a big fucking ball on top with the cameras. Click, 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 click. Instead, it'll be the spider bots doing the exact same thing. But using nature as an example to create it. The spider itself and the bot itself is a flying spider bot. Well, it's a flying spider. Well, flying spiders are real. They use their webs to pick up on the wind and carry them to a different location. But instead of using a web, I wanted to try to turn the web into one of those little fucking brown, those little brown things. They look like this. Here, let me draw you a picture real quick. No, I'm not the best fucking drawer in the world anymore. Those fucking things. Right? Every time you see them fly out of a tree, they're sitting there like a helicopter. And then they fucking land. And the second the wind's strong enough and it's dry enough and the wind hits it, it picks it up and it can fly to another spot. I want to use that same method for the propeller. The same method, and it's going to just be a constant like there's not going to be anything attached to the main interior of the design, just to the upper part with a plate stopping it from taking off without the ball, and just let it spin freely, and just fucking the second the wind picks up, boom, goes to another spot. No fuel required. The cleanings, it's self-cleaning, because the wind basically cleans the solar panel the second it gets picked up and took into another location. So yeah, after a time, it sits for a long time, it's going to develop some sand. It's going to prevent it from getting any feed. But when it lands, it's already going to get all that feed we were looking for. Now it's going to pick up and go off to another location. So, and it's still going to have sound. Like, it's not going to die right off. It's going to fucking have like a month or two before it covers so much of sand that we can't even see, or the camera won't even turn on, or the sound, right? So that's about the only thing that's going to be running off of solar is, and if you really want to get smart and technical and want to turn this into a whole fucking science project, we can actually have the propeller run freely on its own, but turn a gear which also powers the fucking camera, and so while it's flying, we can get video feed of the area surrounding as we're flying through the air. Just saying, we can take this a step further, which was the idea I just had popped in my head, so I figured I'd share it before the end of the video. Anyways, that's my idea, guys. That's my just popped in my head idea. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. If you like it, click the like button. If not, then what's your idea? Because they say one idea is good, but if you can get multiple people in on the same idea, we can make it even greater. Anyways, have a great day, guys.